Oh,
and your address. You and your favorite athlete and your address. And I have a prize for you. So first one in wins. I have a
ooh,
prize. It's
favorite
going to be
athlete
right.
and address. And I got
That's
something
it.
for you the other day, and it was really fun. So let's see who gets it in there first. And your address. Boom.
Boom.
Of
Tom
course, your
Reaver, Michael
buddy.
Jordan. Yeah, it is my buddy. I'm going to hand deliver it.
I
Mr. Mortgage
love it.
Athlete.
Thank you, Tom. See, you know why he did that, everyone? Because he knows Donnie, and he knows he's good for his word, and he knows there's going to be something fun and special. So he had a little bit of an advantage there, but it's all good. Okay, sounds like the music is off. It's time for us to the show must go on. Angie, I know you don't have a lot of time, so we're gonna bring you into this conversation real quick. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I hope you all know the topic. Okay. And I said this to those that came a little early and those that are trickling in now. If you have some friends that you love them and you want to see them do better and you want to see them hear some fun things and things that could maybe inspire them, change their trajectory a little bit, copy that link that you clicked on to get here and share it with them. Give us a few minutes if you want to see what we're going to talk about, if you are inspired then, but just don't regret that you waited that long. So look, today we're talking about the difference between a sales professional and a sales athlete. Like, what does that even mean? I got some stuff to put on screen for you. But more importantly, let's start with the introduction of my two guests here. They're not even it's not even my show. All three of us are doing it for the first time. We don't even.
We're all guests.
Yeah, we're all guests. Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a guest here on the show. I want to introduce you to Angie. Angie is self-proclaimed. Angie, you can correct me if I'm wrong, and I would love for you to throw a link to your website in here in just a second. Self-proclaimed neuroscience nerd, and she is good at it. Okay, and really focusing a lot on performance. And so she has an amazing company, Brain Code, with her and her business partner Rachel. They're fantastic. If you've heard of them and seen them on stages, they've been on many stages in several industries, and so amazing. And she's joining us today because we're going to talk about what performance is. And let me tell you, performance doesn't start here. Okay, it starts right here. It starts right there. And how are you wired is going to really depend on how you perform. So we're going to talk about that. Angie, anything you want to share with anyone? Any quick insight about neuroscience and what it means to performance?
I mean, I'm definitely a neuroscientist. Honestly, I am a self-proclaimed nerd. I don't know if those things can be subtracted from each other. Brain nerd. Yes, my company is Brain Code Centers. We do have offices here in Denver, in Tulsa, in Dallas. We have a global remote program. But absolutely, probably one of my biggest passions is talking about the brain versus, I was a college athlete. I was in sales for years. And a lot of times just as a culture, we focus neck down, and your brain is 100% your best asset, no matter what you're doing. So if you are not optimizing your brain, you're missing out on a really big component, probably your most important component.
I couldn't agree more. Look at it. I'm going to play around with my buttons. Haven't had a chance to play around with these buttons. If anyone's ever been on a Zoom call with me, will know buttons are coming. Here we go. See? Okay. So Angie, thank you so much. Amazing. I love it. I just thinking about the behaviors of a human and where it comes from has been a passion, and to be working with you on things, it's just remarkable. So, and then of course, I don't even know if you need an introduction, Donnie. How many people have this book on their shelf? Sell Anywhere. If you don't, you're going to grab it in a minute. Donnie is the man. I met him at Momentum Builders and was blown away instantly. And so, Donnie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, excited to be here.
And you have friends on right away. Like, this is what I'm saying. No introduction needed. He's the coach to coaches, and oh man, his stories. Like, we could literally do a real fireside chat where we literally make a fire and all of us can sit there and Donnie can tell some stories. It's the way he tells them, which, by the way, you've all heard about branding and how we buy and sell through stories, which is why Donnie's on this call, because this is a sales conversation, right? So let's dive into this. Remember, we're talking about why you want to be a sales athlete and not a sales professional. Now, the best is both, right? A professional athlete, right? That's what you want to be ultimately. However, what is the difference, right? We're going to be discussing that, and what is it that makes us think about professionals and sales professionals as athletes in general? Donnie, I came to you 2 days ago about this?
Less, but yeah.
Less than 2 days. Angie was less than 2 days too. Donnie, tell me why you were like, I want to join this conversation.
Um, First off, I love the group. I love the crew. I love hanging out with you, and I want to be a part of every conversation that I can. And when I think of people who are out there trying to make things happen, obviously that's salespeople, that's people in mortgage. This is a noble profession. This is a noble calling. I think we need to be reminded that being a professional in this world is good. And I think if we can make it a game, it's even better. So that's why I'm excited to be a part of this. Let's join our passion and our profession with our purpose, and let's make some magic.
I love it. I love it. Let's do it. And so look, I want to play a really quick game with everyone. Just a quick game, and you're gonna have to type. So if you're like texting or emailing or talking to somebody else, stop for a minute. Get your eyes on the screen for just a minute. Play a game. All I need you to do is put this in chat. Give me an answer. It's either A or B. That's all we're looking for. It's a fun little game. That's it. This just. Ooh, Sonia, I need a chance to share my screen.
Oh, I have to stop my audio share for the music that is not on anymore. There you go.
There we go. No problem. It's all good. Okay. Just a quick type. It's one letter. Which one of these describes what you do? Which one of these describes you? Describes you, what you do, who you are. Give us a letter. Oh, lots of B's.
Bees get degrees.
An A. We got an A. Okay. All right. More B's. Okay. I want to tell you something interesting. I was just curious about it, which, by the way, one of the most fun ways to live life is just to be curious, right? And I was just curious. I was like, okay, what is the definition of a professional and what is the definition of an athlete? And there is from etymology, which is the study and origin of words and their meaning. In Greek, athletes came from athlein, which stands for to contend for a prize. And when I read that, I was like, wait a minute. Because when I read the professional, I was like, yeah, obviously, that's obvious. And then I was like, wait a second. In sales, aren't we contending for a prize? You can do it professionally, but aren't we, at the end of the day, aren't we contending for a prize? It's not one for everyone. If that was the case, we could just hang up right now. If it was one for everyone, 2 for 10, if it was everything for everyone, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be having this conversation. But it's not 1 or 10 for everyone. The few will win that prize over and over again. And so when I read those definitions, it influenced me to think differently. I'm like, okay, so there is something about some even core, the root of this word, may be impacting how we do what we do in sales. So I wanna ask you, Angie, real quick. How important is it to have a certain state of mind in performance?
It's absolutely critical. I think sometimes when we think about performance, right, we do a lot of times think about sports, right? And if any of you, I'm a golfer, I play golf. So if nobody golfs, then you might not understand this analogy, but you see professional golfers, right? And they are crushing it. They're 10 strokes down, whatever it is, on the 18th hole, $10 million on the line, and they choke, right? And they seem very calm and collected. And you're like, what happened? Bad tee shot, 10 strokes later. Their brain was not in the right mental state, physiological state. Their body went into a state of fight or flight. So ultimately, did their body know what to do? 100%, right? Their brain was not in the right state. Their brain had not been trained to be able to do that. And we think, I mean, it's the same thing with sales, right? That, you could be an amazing salesperson and you do all the things. If you can't close, that's not it, right? And so ultimately, we need to be in the proper state, and not even state of mind, right? Proper neurological state at the beginning, the middle, and then end. And those are different states. Does our brain have the flexibility and the plasticity to be able to move around within those? And that honestly takes training.
Yeah, and to me, all right, so let's look, I'm sitting here listening to this going, oh my gosh, Angie, thank you very much, but you're making it sound impossible. How am I supposed to make my brain waves do this thing you're talking about? I'm not a professional athlete. It's probably too hard for me, right?
Absolutely not. No, every single person is capable of training their brain, right? And there's a lot of different ways to do that. Breathing, meditation, things like that are absolutely ways. And obviously I'm getting some really high level, like there, it
Sure.
does take a lot of work, just like with anything, right? That if you like an athlete, right? If you want to go and train like an athlete, you got to train like an athlete. If you want to train to be, a sales athlete, you need to train like a sales athlete. And that starts in the morning with setting your circadian rhythm, getting sunlight in the morning. That starts with breathing. There's a lot of different ways to be able to do that and to get yourself in that state of mind and in that state of being. But it absolutely takes work. You're right. It's not something that just happens and, you can call into question, oh, I need it right now. I'm going to do it. Practice makes perfect. And if we don't
Oh,
practice, then we show up to a game and we're not ready.
I love that. I love that. It's like, I was talking to Todd, and Todd had done some research about this, and come to find out that athletes practice 100 hours to play one.
Yeah.
I was talking to two different people that run Ironman. Okay, one guy did 16 of them already. One gal there that was in the conversation did 6 or 7. I can't remember right now. And I asked them. I said, "Listen, how long is the race?" They said 140 miles. I was like, "How many miles did you run preparing for this race?" Thousands upon thousands of miles. Thousands upon thousands of miles to run 140 miles with a group of people, right? And so, Donnie, you and I were talking about this earlier. It's like, we will just jump on a call. We will just jump on a call and just see what happens. Let's see what
No
happens.
stretching. Yeah. Right.
No stretching. I love that. Go into that. Go into that.
Well, it's really funny that almost any sales job you ever get, what do people give you? They give you the script. Here's what you say. Here's what you say. And what happens is we grab the script from them and then we nervously navigate through that script. And then we crash land and we wonder, why did we fail? I did the script, but like, A, did you know the script? But B, even more importantly, is like, who's telling you the script of like, what's your stretching? What's the internal script? What are you saying to yourself before you ever pick up the phone or before you ever reach out to people? Are you saying like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God? Or are you saying like, these people need me. They can't wait to talk to me. I'm so excited to reach out to them. I'm going to help a family today. Like, what are we saying? It primes us. And
Sounds like neuroscience.
Yes.
Yes.
It sounds like you're talking about setting an intention, right? You're right. Anybody can go in and read a script, right? That actually takes quite literally nothing. It takes the ability to be able to read. Have you set your intention? Do you know what you're going in for? Micro expressions, right? Even over the phone, there's science behind if you are actually smiling, even if they can't see it, it actually changes your voice inflections, right? So all of these things, like, were you actually prepared for that? And you're right. Nobody stretches and then nobody kind of winds down after. Okay, reflection. How did that go? What happened? Do I actually want feedback versus like me asking for feedback that I have no intention of taking? All those things matter.
And you know what? We use the word several times now. I've said it several times myself. No one. You know what? There are some that are doing that. And they are never market dependent. The ones that are doing that are never looking outward and going, okay, well, if the market's good, I'm going to do well. They're always looking inward, always. And then they adjust themselves, not hoping the market changes for them. Very important part. An athlete, by the way, let's really think about what an athlete does. An athlete expects to perform at a certain level. Expect to perform at a certain level, not hope, right? Again, I'm going to pick on the word professional and athlete for just a minute. A professional can look the part. An athlete will play the part. Okay? You don't want to just look like you can do it. You want to do it. And the only way to do it is to practice it. I mean, there's no other thing about it, right? When we talk about, I was talking to Don before this call and I said, listen, what does the audience want to hear about? Yes, I agree, Tom. What does the audience want to talk about? And he's like, they probably want to hear about conversion. Everybody wants to hear about conversion. And I said, great, we can talk about conversion. But conversion isn't the finish line. Okay, conversion is not the finish line. Conversion starts before the conversation with the person. And it's very important to understand that you could be using all of your amazing skills, but be talking to the wrong person. right? It's like literally we've all heard that putting up your ladder against the wall and finding out when you get to the top it's the wrong wall,
Mhm.
right? Unnecessary, right? So athletes do what? They don't do unnecessary practices. They don't do unnecessary things. They're very focused in the things that they need to do to be best tomorrow and better than they were today. That's what they do. And so,
Also, everything that they're investing is in them because they know that they are the best asset, right? They're not investing in all these other things to hopefully make them better. They're betting on themselves, right? And that
totally.
so often, especially in business, we don't do that, right? We want other things. Oh, I need a really good CRM. I need this. I need this. Invest in your brain, and that is 100% your best asset. That will take you the distance.
100%. Who watches these Netflix docu-series on sports? Everyone, right? Yeah, everyone go. It does. It's all. It's racing. It's tennis. It's soccer. It's football. It's rugby. I love it. Yeah, give us some love. Give us some emojis, everybody. Let us know you're still here. We didn't put you to sleep yet. By the way, we still have a good half hour to go. We're gonna get into some real interesting things here. Good time to grab that link and share it with some other people. I see the hearts and the loves. Who else do you love? Send them this link. Let's have a good, fun conversation that we can spread the wealth around. So if you watch these shows, I am blown away by how every single one of them at some point comes to the fact like, get out of your mind, get out of your mind, just do. Donnie, weren't you telling me about this? Weren't we talking about that it's not thinking?
Yeah. So if you've been to Rene Rodriguez's Amplify speaking coaching that he does, one of the things I love that he says, and he'll say it often, is express, don't impress. Meaning, are you here to serve or are you here to perform? And even we have to be careful, I believe, with the word performance, because it can feel like something you do on a stage or on a court or on a field or on the phone or whatever. And we can feel detached from who it is that we really are. A part of us doing this is being able to do it as ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of Rick Barry?
Mm-hmm.
Rick Barry, old time NBA guy. He's one of the top free throw percentage, like career percentages in free throws ever, at over 90%. And do you know how he shot? He shot in a way that worked every time, but it looks so silly. Like no one's going to do it because he looks stupid doing it. Being able to, I think, show up in a way to where we have less to think about means that we show up in our own design. We show up with our own version of that expression. Like, I know this is what I'm trying to express. How do I express that? And it's interesting how we become informative of the script, and we don't have to. We have less to think about, and we just get to be present with people in the process. I still think we should measure results and success of the different stages and phases of the conversation, because conversation, same word, etymology, right? We know which parts of it work, but also it has to work for us and for the other person. It's not just one or the other. We've got to keep both of those in the same place.
Yes. Yeah. So I want to get back to the brain for just a minute, because there's a certain state of being, and Angie, you explained it so well the other day. I was just so impressed, which was the like what forced this. I was like, oh my gosh, Angie's got to talk about this, and it was the wavelength that you want to see your brain at. And it's like, hold on, everyone, stop, don't get scared. We're not. You don't have to think about this. This is just what happens in your mind. There's a specific brainwave you want to be at for the ability to retain, receive, turn that into something that can be put into use. Can you talk to that for just a minute?
Absolutely. So all humans, little background, all humans are capable of producing the same brainwave activity. Delta, deep sleep; theta, drifting into sleep; alpha is kind of a receptor wave that helps push our brain around; beta should be clean, focused energy. High beta is fight or flight. So often we show up to a seminar or an experience or a call, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not focused. I can't, why am I not engaging? Oh, I'm thinking about what I'm going to have for dinner later. Oh, what are my kids doing? What's going on? Crap, I need to be in the, why is that happening, right? Why can't I just muscle my way through this? To be in a true like learning state, we want to be in either low beta or beta, which is kind of this clean, focused, motivational wave activity. One, some of us are not even capable of producing that, right? Our brain has never produced it. We don't even know what it looks like. So we might be swimming in slow theta wave activity, which is important if we're trying to drift into sleep or be calm, but not important if we're trying to, learn and actually be present and be motivated, right? If anyone here is a coffee drinker, which if you aren't, I don't.
They're not on this call.
What's wrong with you?
They're not, they didn't make it.
I don't
They didn't
understand
wake
you
up in time.
as a person, right? But when we sit there and we're like, oh my gosh, I haven't had my coffee today. I need my coffee. Coffee actually momentarily puts us into a beta state. So actually what we're saying is I want to get into a beta state of brainwave activity because it feels good. Now, it's a synthetic way of getting into that. I understand that, but it gets us there. That's why we want it, right? So people actually who are like, oh, I don't really need coffee. They probably produce a lot of beta wave activity as is. So the idea, right, is to find different ways to actually get ourselves into that beta state and prep our brains to do that before we get into a call, right? Before we get on, into a performance, right? Which might be a sales pitch or might be, a big meeting or something like that. Just like if we're going to go, play a basketball game or whatever, and we don't stretch before, and then we pull a muscle and we're like, why did that happen?
Right.
We know exactly why that happened. We go in it and we fumble the ball and, you get out and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't say what I wanted to say. I didn't sound the way that I wanted to sound. They weren't receptive. Well, we weren't in the right state of being and state of mental place to even have that conversation and do that in the first place. So really, we need to be prepping our brain neurologically to be able to do that. And again, that comes down to plasticity, flexibility. How do we do that? Obviously, my company is Brain Code Centers. We do that through neurofeedback. If somebody's like, hey, I don't know about neurofeedback or, whatever, there's a lot of other ways to do that as well. Bilateral tapping is a great way to be able to
explain
do
that.
So
Explain that. That's awesome. Give everybody this. I told you you're going to want to share this link. I told you. And now here it comes. Give it to him. Give him a little magic right now.
So bilateral stimulation tapping is actually a way to, one, engage both hemispheres of the brain. And literally it's taking your fingers and tapping on either side of your body, especially if you are wanting to get into more of a beta place and more of a focused place.
Yeah.
Let's say that you go into that conversation and you're somebody who's feeling a little bit amped up, right? Like, oh my gosh, I get a little bit stressed, performance anxiety, whatever that looks like. I would actually tap a little bit faster, and I might even do it on my collarbone a little bit closer to your chest. And I would actually tap pretty quickly. Tap, 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 tap. It's one after the other, right? Bilateral.
Everybody do it.
Yep. I would do that honestly for at least like 3 to 4 minutes leading into that call. It's physiologically going to disrupt the stress signal in your brain. So literally you don't have to do anything besides tap, and you're going to find yourself more focused and more motivated going into that call. So that's a really easy kind of body hack. If you're sitting at a table, maybe you're like, oh, I don't want people to, see me tapping. Tap under the table, tap on your legs, right? Tap on your stomach. It's still engaging both hemispheres of the brain.
You're getting lots of love and lots of smiles. Wow. Honestly, that's what I'm talking about. Athletes over professionals. You don't think athletes do what she just described? 100% they do this stuff. Why? Because they want to perform at the highest levels. Who's waking up? I'm talking to this audience, not just who's waking up and going, I hope today I do okay. I hope I'm underperformed just a little, just a hair, right? Not too much, just a hair.
Come on, Bear Men. Let's go. Come on.
We need a T-shirt that says "Let's go Bear Men."
Let's just limp it by today. I'm gonna limp it by today. Right.
So that's and so I love this. I'm so glad. I'm so excited that we're doing this call like this. Yes. And by the way, for those, I didn't mention this, you see me, I'm unapologetically all geared up. Where's my tattoo? All about fuel here. We won't get too much into it right at this moment, but both Donnie and Angie are going to be on the Fuel platform, which is a performance as a service platform that's hitting the world, not just this industry, but hitting the world. And what you just got from Angie are things that you're going to see within the platform that help you improve your performance just by showing up and wanting to be the best version. That's all you got. The best part about Fuel is all you got to do is show up and want to be the best version of yourself. And just like athletes practice, we talked about this too. Athletes don't talk about practice, by the way. They think practice is play, play, play. Okay, let's stop for a second and unpack that just for a second. Athletes do not think about practice as practice the way we think about it. Oh, geez, I got to go to practice. We don't even get to play a game. No, yes, you do. It's all play. Professional athletes look at practice as play. So look at practice as play. We'll get into Fuel in just a minute where we've made practice like play. It's super fun. But let's just talk about this topic for a second about without even Fuel, just for yourselves, right? Think about how these professionals show up and go, this is just play. And you might be saying, oh, well, Alex, they get paid millions of dollars. Okay, it's all relative. It's all relative, honestly. They still look at practice. Let's go to colleges, right? I know, oh my gosh, now athletes in college get paid. By the way, huge win. But before they got paid, did they show up and not play their best? No, they showed up because it was fun. It was already fun. Then they get to show off their skills in front of a large audience. It's just even more fun. But they showed up to play the same way they play on the field. As a matter of fact, Angie, you're an athlete. Donnie, I believe you're an athlete too. I've played sports all my life. As a matter of fact, got a soccer game at 11 o'clock tonight. Why do they do that? Coffee will be drank at some point before I go there. I want to be in my beta state. Actually, what state should I be in to play sports, Angie?
Oh, you want to be in that beta state. Oh,
Beta?
absolutely.
All right, let's go. Maybe it's a Red
You
Bull.
want to be in the zone.
But do you remember our coach is always saying you play like you practice? Do you remember that? 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so it comes back to this. We keep coming back to this. It is practice, right? How can you practice? How can you find the thing? I'll give you an example for me personally. Donnie, I want to hear this from you and from you too, Angie. And somebody jump on and should we unlock your buddy? Is his name Tom? I want to hear why he talks about
be ready for the 800-pound gorilla just to come through and wreck the house. He is an experience. I'm telling you.
So listen.
He belongs. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're gonna turn him. Sonia, be ready. But before we do, we have the constraints to deal with an 800-pound gorilla because we have the mute button. We have the ultimate mute button.
I mean, in a good way, not in that way. He's not,
So okay, real quick, as a what I consider myself, I've always talked about building businesses as a sport and a canvas because I find it as an art and science. And in building businesses, like I practice daily. How do I practice daily? I do research, I read, I listen to podcasts, I write campaigns, I write ideas, I draw out websites, I draw out messages constantly. I mean, my team gets tired of me texting and emailing and being like, oh, I got an idea, let's try this thing. And so I'm nobody's watching. It's just me. It's just me doing this, right? Practice every single day because I love it, because I know the fuel that's going in here and in here when I put it out and I get to play in real life and I get to put that campaign out there. It's just fun because it's like, here, let's see all this practice. How does it turn out in the real world? Do you, Angie, or Donnie, do you do anything like that daily?
Oh my gosh, 100%. Everything. One, I mean, I also, am a physical athlete as well, and I've always kind of had that mentality. When I was playing soccer in college, actually, I am a triathlete. I've done many triathlons as well. And at the end of the day, I think that everything, if you're not prepping your body from the minute you wake up, right? How do you wake up? Are you looking at screens the minute you wake up and disrupting your circadian rhythm and, flooding your brain with blue light first thing in the morning? P.S. Don't do that.
Okay, I was going to say, don't do that, right? Can we give everyone this nugget? Do not wake up and first thing look at your phone. Please, everyone's laughing. Please. We're
all guilty of it. Don't do it. First thing when you wake up and last thing when you go to bed, you are literally overstimulating your brain. You're flooding it. Also, you're just setting yourself up for honestly stress throughout the day by literally shooting up your cortisol first thing in the morning. Best thing you can do, get up, drink a big glass of water, do some type of box breathing or just, deep meditation, diaphragmatic breathing. If you don't know what diaphragmatic breathing is, Google it. It's literally pushing out your rib cage, very intentional breathing, setting your brain in that way. Breath work is one of those, it is the least utilized. It's such an easy practice. And I think all of us kind of brush it aside. Like it's kind of like stretching, right? You know, after you
It's
like
a
after you work out,
superpower. Let's be clear.
it is a
It's
super power. And if you're
superpower.
not utilizing it, you know,
Yeah.
just like with your body, then when you pull a muscle and you're pissed about it, that's on you.
If you're not utilizing breath work, you're a mere human. If you are using it, you're a superhuman. That's all I'm just gonna say. I'm not even kidding. It really wires you to be that good. I love it. Keep going, Angie. You said what you do every day.
100%. Yeah. It's like we talked about that athletes, you know, and sales athletes, professional athletes, they do not show up to the game expecting to be excellent. They have been doing things 7 days a week, 24/7 to be able to show up to the game and be excellent. Right. Like you said earlier, you know, I live in a world where there are winners and there are losers. Not everybody gets a participation trophy. That is just not how we work. Right. That's not the world that we live in. If that's the world that you live in, I don't understand your world. Right. So if you want to be the best and you want to be exceptional, it is within the minute things, right? There's
Exceptional.
not some big silver bullet. It's a puzzle and everybody's different and their puzzle is different. What are the little things that you are implementing and utilizing to be able to do that? Breath work is an absolutely critical one. Sleep. If you haven't dialed in your sleep, if you're somebody who is having disrupted sleep, you're going to sleep late, you're waking up early, you're waking up throughout the night, your brain, the only way, there are only certain organs and certain like valves in your brain that only open up and release during REM cycle sleep. So if you're never getting into REM cycle sleep, your brain is absolutely not able to heal. So truly the best biohack that I can give anybody is get your sleep dialed in.
I love it. And I'd recommend that Aura ring. And then Donnie, let's go to you. And then let's unlock Tom by oh, look what she's got on. Look at that. I'll pretend I have it on.
Been wearing it for years.
Love
It's
it.
it's millions of dollars of technology on your finger. Just so everybody understands. Go ahead, Donnie.
So you asked if what the role is of almost making it a game and having fun with what you're doing. And I can save you a lot of money and a lot of coaching from someone like me. So I get paid by people lots and lots of money to help them to connect their purpose and their profession so that their work life is great, their home life, all of these things are wonderful. And what I find is if you want to live a purposeful professional life, you're here to solve a problem. Problems don't go away. You're solving a problem. So just get over it. What problem do you want to solve? And that's the key. If you're solving problems you were designed to solve, now you're in a place where you can have fun. Now that you can have fun, I always say make it fun and you'll get more done. Now we can make it a game. Now we can track, and athletes track different parts of what it is that they do, how they start, how they finish, what happens on the in-between. So I was, you saw me digging into, you can track things on a cribbage board. You can track habits. I have people track with just like these very tactile things. Marbles, there are apps. Guess what else helps you to track? Well, fuel. Fuel is wonderful for tracking and going from a professional, which is someone who believes and they profess who they are. They profess, I love this, I am this. An athlete takes this belief and turns it into action. They gamify it. They have fun. They break it down into stages. And that's where we can have what different people would call, Chick Sent Me High, the guy that would talk about flow. He would call, and you Angie, I'd love to hear from like flow about, but he called these peak moments, and peak moments come from exactly what we're talking about. It doesn't happen from sitting around on your couch hoping something finds its way to you. It comes through like exerting effort towards a goal that's identified with parameters that are enclosed, but it's within your ability. But how many of us are actually stretching to the limits of our ability on a regular basis? Not many. Not many.
And it's access to be able to do that. So Donnie, I love this. We're going to transition to a beautiful part of this conversation. Tom, I'll be right with you. everyone, show a bunch of love, write things, post things, click the emojis. Angie's got to run. Angie, thank you so much for making time today. You are the best. What you gave everyone today is priceless. Look at all the love you're getting. Thank you so much for being on. She may be frozen, but she's still on, so I know she's seeing it.
But not in our
There she
hearts.
is.
I might be frozen. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for having me. Donnie, I love what you're saying. Alex, you're incredible. I am literally so jazzed. Every time we talk about fuel, I get more and more excited. It's such an amazing, kind of just a bigger way, honestly, for us to impact lives and to truly, help people up their game, right? Perfect their craft. So we are so
Yes.
excited. I cannot wait to see you all on the platform. Guys, thanks so much for having me.
See you, Angie. Thank you. All right, Tom. So I hear you coined sales athlete. I want to know why you think that way, how you live that way, and then tell me if you do something daily to practice your craft.
So great that you put that out there, Alex. First of all, I'm going to tell you that your man Donnie is everything is advertised. Our first cup of coffee meeting, when he had the audacity to reach out to me and the guts to follow through with the meeting with me, he met for 3.5 hours and shut the coffee place down because fire was coming out the front door. Brimstone, another pot of coffee, please. We're not done yet. So I haven't had a collision like that in a long time where I sat down and said, you haven't bored me. You haven't made me want to turn my back to you. And I have engaged and grabbed him by his little cheeks and shook him many times to say, give me more. It was a great two-way street conversation. And it was like, I think I ripped my shirt and we broke chairs and we just had a great time. So shout out to Donnie. Alex, if I ever meet you, square you up over a pot of coffee, it's probably going to be the same thing. And holy cow.
We're going to beat Donnie 4 hours. Forget 3 hours. Who's got,
Hey.
we're going 4.
Okay,
No competition.
So let me give you
Okay.
the reason why I talk in the terms of athlete. Number
Yes.
one, an athlete has to be able to do the mundane thousands of times and not be bored.
Oh,
Yes.
love it.
You're a great shortstop. You only get to be amazing with your hands. If you don't think about your hands, you have to think about catching a ground ball a bazillion times and not worry about the hop. It just is going to go in my glove.
Yes.
Because I have done it a bazillion times. Now, you've heard the saying, to be great at catching a ground ball, you must be great at something. You got to do it 10,000 times. Well, I'm going to tell you, you can't think about the number. You just have to do the number. And you must do it the right way. But what separates good from great is not being bored. And what separates great from exceptional, which there's a lot of good. There's a phenomenal amount of great, but exceptional, whew, they do it and they make hard look easy. They make hard look easy. They make running look like they're coasting. They make hitting a baseball 400 feet like it's flipping, swinging, just swinging an umbrella. Boom. It's just easy. Because of what they put into it, they make hard look easy. Now, that being said, athletes have tools. So in the sport of baseball, I coached, played a lot of college baseball. I had a travel baseball organization where I had 12 teams to start out, had as many as 22. And that is a lot of moms and dads. It's a lot of amazing athletes. And I explained to them all, everybody in this room thinks their kid's going to be a pro. I love you all, and they're all great. They're all good. But when you witness the exceptional, you'll know. Because they're going to make everybody else look average, and they make everything look easy. They always land on their feet. You'll know. Right now, it's less than a 1% chance that you're probably even going to play college ball. And there's less than a fraction of a percentage going to play pro ball. But there's somebody in this room that's going to do that.
So Tom, let's stop there for a second. Let's stop there for a second. I'm gonna unpack what you just said. Okay. So first of all, everyone on the call, Tom isn't saying to you that you have to be that Michael Jordan. Nope. Okay. We're not saying that. What we're saying is there's good, there's great, there's exceptional. Yeah. And it's okay to be in any one of those. All right. But to be below operating at your peak performance may be good, which is good. But some people will have a peak performance of not good for a particular sport, okay? We can talk about Michael Jordan in baseball if we want to, but we're not going to do that, okay? Well, he's exceptional in one, good in the other. He's good, Okay,
Alex, to that point, I'm going to jump in on that because
please.
he's a 5-star athlete in basketball. 5-star athlete.
5-star.
Speed, performance, knowledge of the game, grit,
Mm,
coachable,
all of that.
all that. In baseball, he was a 2-star athlete out of the 5. Hands weren't very good.
Yes.
Speed was phenomenal. He could run
Mm.
first base less than, in 8 steps. He was phenomenal.
Mm.
Bat, weak.
Mm.
Baseball knowledge, okay.
Yes.
Arm
See
strength,
that?
4. But guess what? He put asses in seats. Come play baseball, Michael. We love
Yes.
you. But his performance was average. He made
Okay.
baseball made a mortal look average, which was a boo, but it was a phenomenal piece that he got to try something he always loved, which is baseball. But he wasn't the best
Absolutely.
at baseball.
Can we talk about that? Donnie, I want you to get into this conversation. Listen to what we're saying. If you're a manager, if you're a sales leader, no more manager. Manager is the wrong word. Leader.
Yeah.
If you're a sales leader, okay, and you're on this call, this conversation is to you. Okay? Because it's okay that Michael played, but he didn't play long, did he?
No.
That's what sales leader needs to be good at. A sales leader needs to identify and say, look, I'm building a team of performers.
Yep.
Okay. And if you can't play at a minimum standard, which by the way, you're about to hear those words come out of Fuel's mouth, my mouth, Todd's mouth, everyone that's involved for years to come. Standards. Okay. Let's have some standards. Let's just not go, all right, everybody, you got a job. You got a mouth. You got a job. No, you can be at standard and play great or above standard, target in sales words, right? On target or above target. But if you're below target, you're not making the team. No. Sales leaders, we're talking to you. Michael Jordan, a legend, a freaking legend, a known all over the world, would not play baseball. They said, get out. They gave him a little bit of time, but doesn't matter who you are, your skill isn't there. He couldn't play anymore. Right. This is a tough conversation, but you all need to understand standards is how you want your performance as a team to go up. Woo! Set standards. I'll give it back to you, Donnie.
Alex, so when I look at an athlete as a ball player, or I also have coined. I'm in the mortgage business, so I look for mortgage athletes. But when I look at people, I find out what their strengths are. Right.
Yes.
So if you're looking at 5 tools as a mortgage athlete, what do you do good? All right, we're good. Let's identify the 2 things you do really, really bad. And that's on you to practice those to get comfortable, because we're going to get the most lift from those 2 things that you don't do so good. We're going to have set standards and things with the 3 things you do very well. And I expect those to sparkle all the time. And we're going to grind on these other 2 to help round out your star of 5 points. Because if we get all 5 points sharp, and all of a sudden now all the conveyor belts lead to the middle, to the nucleus of that star, now it's freaking bright. Now we're serving what we need to do, and you're optimizing your skills and abilities within. As we start with the head now because of Angie. Holy cow, I got things to go back. But
isn't that amazing? Woo.
Oh, the tapping. Next time I see you, Donnie, I'll be doing this right before the meeting so I can be on point.
Same. Yes.
Anyway, bottom line is this platform is phenomenal. I love what I do, and it's not about the money. It's the zen of the business. Money follows. I like to be the wind beneath other people's wings. And when I see them soar, holy cow, guess who they drag along? Little fat boy Tommy Reber. I go to the show. I sit in the front row seat and enjoy every bit of it. And
my man.
I'm proud to be a part of the call. So thank you, Donnie and Alex, and obviously Angie, for having me.
Let me celebrate.
Appreciate that. Look at that. Look at that.
Go ahead, Donnie.
Love it. Well, in our world, my question is, what can you practically do to use? And by the way, if athlete doesn't work for you, there's some people in here, they don't see things that way. A lot of times when I work with people, I use terms that sound like love, and they're like, I just don't talk that way. That's okay. Like, if that's not the framework for you, it's totally fine. But if it is, if you like to compete against yourself, if you like to make little games out of the big games, by the way, Alex, that's one thing that athletes do. All world-class athletes find a way to make little games out of the big game, so that we're not just looking at the scoreboard. We're looking at, can I get a yard or a first down, or like it's broken up into smaller things, and it's you against you. Can you do better next time than you did this time, and removing comparison, the wrong type of comparison. I think an athlete looks at comparison, they compare themselves to themselves, they compare their results to the results that they want. They don't always get what they want. We don't always get what we want. But the truth of it is, most of us don't. Sometimes the truth is so painful, Alex, that we don't even look at it. And we owe it to ourselves to be able to look at it, not feel negative, hurt, condemnation, I'm stupid, I'm bad, and not feel any of those things, but to say, okay, what can I do about that number? And then to go do it.
That's
and
it.
to, in a way, to scientifically improve what it is that we're doing. There is a heart and mind associated with the bottom line. So we got to bring all of those things along and actually like nurture those things. But to get here's my question to you and for us is, I'm in mortgage, let's just say, or whatever industry, and this does speak to me.
Okay.
How do you become an athlete? I like, my framework is like, what's a game-winning score?
Yeah.
How do we reverse engineer that? How do we get you on base or whatever? How do we utilize your strengths and maximize those strengths? And how can we look at that being habitually practiced in a way it's where you can say that you are making effort towards what you said you wanted? Most of us, we really don't make effort towards what we wanted. So that to me is you reverse engineer it down into a daily micro action.
Yeah.
And then it works into that, the stuff we were working on with Angie of like saying, I am this, I like, this is who I am, this is how I show up. But how would you turn someone into an athlete, a sales athlete?
I love that question, and I'm going to answer it from the perspective of what Fuel is trying to do, what Fuel is going to give people like Tom to give to his team, especially because Tom is wired the way of performance. So I love that. Thank you for that question for all of us. I want to hear it from everyone. The way that we look at it at Fuel, okay, and why we've built the first of its kind is performance as a service. It's the first of its kind in the world, where we're saying, look, for those of you that understand software as a service basically says, look, I'm going to give you the best version of this software constantly. Like, it's never, you don't have to buy new versions. It's always going to be updated. It's always going to be the best. You don't have to look for updates. If we have available, it's available to you. Performance as a service is where we want to see organizations, okay? Organizations drive sales performance, okay? And it's as a service. So we're constantly going to be improving and updating our process so that your performance continues to improve. Let me show you what I mean by that. Look at you, Tom. Look at got the jacket
I gotta
on.
go
Look
to
at
another meeting, and it rips my guts out that I'm leaving this. But I love you
to have you,
guys so
brother.
much, and I can't wait to
Good
be
to
on the
have
next
you.
one. I got to run out.
You got it. Go close that deal, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
You got it. So, and we're gonna wrap up shop here in a few minutes anyway. But the way we're looking at it is, we said, look, let's take the best from Masterclass, which is a digital format of video education, the best from Peloton, which made performance a visual thing you can track. Okay, they made performance interesting and different, and you could. We just talked to so many people over the last like 4 days. I don't understand like why Peloton kept coming up, but it kept coming up. Maybe because I brought it up, but it kept coming up in the sense that, oh, I love riding outside, or I love working out at this gym or that gym, but I do it on Peloton because of I'm competing against myself while competing against others while competing against myself. Visually, I can see my performance from where it was to where it is today. I can literally see myself over time, and that is exciting. So we did that. And then we said, look, let's get the best and smartest people in the world to put together courseware. So your question was, how do people do this? How do people become professional athletes? We already answered it. It's practice. Practice, 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 practice. Which, by the way, is now replaced with the word play, 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 play. Just play. You're just going to come and play. This library, it is the largest library, okay, of performance instruction. That's what this is. That's what this whole thing is. And all you got to do is come in and play. Short segments, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minute segments, which then test your performance, not your knowledge. Test your performance. You want to get good at something with practice, you practice, 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 and you see how your performance improves. It's just a fun game. Go play the game. So to answer your question of how, in my opinion, right, if we had to take a look at it, if we had to say, how do you become a sales athlete? Well, what we learned about professional sports is this. Professionals stay professionals because of access. Access to what? Access to the best training, best coaching, best support, right? That's what this is. We're giving everyone access. The best authors, the smartest minds, not in mortgage, in the world. We're talking about amazing minds that are the best, have the best leadership training, sales. You, coach, you're one of those people, right? People like you and Angie are putting their content into this so that people can come practice the skills they want to be good at. That's it. And so that would be my answer. Like, you got to just find a way. If it's not this, it's something else. Find a way to keep practicing your skills. Make it fun. If you enjoy sitting in a classroom for an hour, good, do that. Do that all the time. You enjoy reading books, do that all the time. And then practice what you read about. Don't just read it and go, oh, that sounded good. Put it to work. That's my answer there, Donnie.
Love it. That reminds me, Alex, of, and I know we're wrapping up on time, but there's a quote from a guy named James Missioner, and he says this: "The master at the art of living makes little distinction between his work and his play, his labor and his leisure, his mind and his body, his information and his recreation, his love and his religion. He hardly knows which is which. He simply pursues his vision of excellence at whatever he does, leaving others to decide whether he is working or playing. To him, he's always doing both."
You got to send me that, man. That's the best way to wrap this up I can imagine. Wow, that was powerful. Can you post that in chat? Let people copy and paste it.
Look at that. Someone else already did. Sonia.
Oh, wow. Snap a
Magic.
picture, everyone. Snap a picture of that. What a great call. I'm so excited to have been on this call with you and everyone that's been on this. Habits as a service. That's a good one too, Donnie. Thanks, Don. I see you in chat as well. We've had such a good time. I hope everyone got something powerful out of this. You got, as always, well, you can see it on screen. You always have great content here, and Don and Gino are the best. And I don't know if I've met two such selfless human beings than Donnie and Gino that do this all for you all. So it's fantastic. Thanks for having us. Donnie, you closed it as best as it can be closed. Thank you, man. Thanks for, in such short notice, delivering such fire.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Don and Gino. Crush it, guys.
You guys. Thank you, team. Yep. Go practice.
Go
Get some of
play.
that fuel.